Today we actually have the CEC Career Center staff here. Nick had a family emergency. He will be your point person for all of technology. If you go down to the Career Center, you can talk to any of these guys or Nick, but he's the point person. But Al's going to be doing presenting, and then also he brought his boss along. So we'll actually do introductions here in a second. Let me go through the updates here real quick. On Monday, we got Ron Harvey coming in. He's the president of a consulting company, but he's also a motivational speaker. He's going to sort of tell you how to think outside the box, how to become an entrepreneur, how to do things in technology. He served on the South Carolina Chamber of Commerce. He knows what's happening with all the companies that's coming in to Columbia. And so he knows the people to connect with. And so he helps build the leadership and entrepreneurial endeavors across the city. So it's always nice to see him come in. And then Al will be back. He's going to talk about getting ready for the job fair, which we all know is coming very quickly. Then Red Hat, a new company, Provalis, Fast Enterprises, and Boeing. So there's a lot of repetitive stuff that I've had. Let's jump down to the oh, and you guys may want to make sure to talk about this, but they need to register for Handshake, correct? Because the process is when you go to the STEM job fair, these guys will have everything roped off. You got to sign in. Once you come in, then you can go to the job fair and so forth. But they work with me to tell me who registered. They tell me who actually attended because there's a sign-in tablet, correct? And so it's a QR code, okay? And so all of those things happen, okay? And then homework-wise, I postponed the resume till this Monday because of this presentation. But also I want you to do the Handshake, LinkedIn, and Mentorship Hub, which they all support as well. They can answer questions on that. But so all of that's on Monday, which I guess I should have flipped the two. And I just didn't catch it fast enough. So that's on me. But what happened is some of you are submitting it early. I'm asking you to submit again if you don't have your headshots on the Handshake or LinkedIn, Mentorship Hub. Also, I want you to fill out stuff. When these vendors are looking at it, they don't just want to see nothing there. They're trying to recruit you. And if there's nothing in there, it doesn't help you at all. So make sure you do that. The resumes, they're going to talk about that today. I'm sort of picky. I put up what my preferences are. So they're going to talk about it in general because they got all the students in CEC, but I'm going to talk about what I want. The following week, we're going to start doing job interview questions. The reason I want to jump on that right away is I want you to figure out your responses to say the top 10 questions that most vendors ask. What's going to happen is if you guys are looking spiffy and you're actually got your resumes, they may interview you on the spot at the STEM job fair. They may also interview that night over dinner or the next morning for breakfast or lunch. So things happen very, very fast and you got to be ready for that. And so I'm trying to get you as ready as fast as possible. Okay. And so that's why we got to do all of that. Again, the bonus points, if you're interested in bonus points, you just email me, say, hey, are you available to meet one-on-one or remotely? And I have 10 questions for you about your career. And so we'll actually talk about career advancement or where you want to go in your career. And I'll start looking for jobs specifically for you to help you out on that. Now, what I put up on the board here, I just want to focus. They're going to go more in depth on it because they have the presentation. On resumes, these are the primary things that we want, especially in IT. You want your heading, a summary, not an objective. I like the summary because it tells us about you. You leave it in a broad statement and you talk about that. Your education, any relative coursework in IT. You know, I wouldn't put accounting and stuff because of the fact that you're trying to get an IT job, even though you've had it. All your technical skills or maybe certs, work experiences. And I put a little caveat here. These can be mixed around based on whatever way you feel most important. Like if you don't have a lot of good work experience, a lot of people put their coursework or technical skills at reverse it, whatever way you want to do it. Okay. And then there's projects that I know you do in the capstone projects here on our program. And then your extracurricular or leadership stuff with fraternities, sororities, anything else on campus, so forth. Now, when I'm looking at things, the focus, it can be 1 or 2 pages. I don't want 2 pages just because. I mean, if we got to condense it, then we condense it and so forth. Keep your font size around 10 to 12 points because we can't read that real little font because you're trying to squeeze it on. Or don't go edge to edge of paper. There are boundaries to the paper. So that formatting becomes important. Spelling is important. Action statements. So when you start putting down what you've done for each job experience, I'm not looking for delivered pizzas or stock shelves or with an Uber driver. I want you to change that around to make them into strong action statements around your soft skills, like management demands by satisfying customers on a daily basis, or worked as a team in a fast-paced environment. Okay, so what happens is those apply to anything. Okay, but I don't really need a stock boy. Okay, who's putting cans on the shelf. But I do need a team-oriented, fast-paced person. See what I'm saying? So what's happening is you're just stocking things a lot faster because they're taking it off the shelf. That I want you to reword that. You can get those action statements off of ONET. I don't mind you listing those ideas off of there, and I'll show you some of that here in a second. White space, I'm really particular about white space and balance on left and right side of the page. And the samples that they gave me, I put out, and I put them, I let you guys take them. Make sure you align your bullets. Hyphens should be the same, et cetera, et cetera. So I'm just going to pick on them real quick, okay? This is what they shared with me. And I'm going to show you up here. I highlighted some of the things that I would deem. Okay, the GPA is sort of low. Okay, I wouldn't put low GPAs. Just delete it. Don't even put it. It's nice that you have a 3.0. I'm happy that you have a 3.0. That's great. But brag when it's a 4.0 or 3.5 or higher or something like that. Okay. Right here, I don't know why you indented. I know you balanced it, but this one here in the middle was not indented, but it might be the same number of letters. White space, if there's only 3 words or maybe 3 words, 2 on this one, try to reword the sentence so you're not wasting all this white space. See how much white space that was? That's maybe a whole nother section that you could have put in because there's 4 of them in there. Down here, you'll notice that they were putting italics under each of the headers, and then down here they forgot to do it. Okay, so it's just I'm looking for that continuity. It's like, okay, oh, forgot that. Then they misspelled intramural. It's intramural. Okay, they started using all these hyphens, and I call them big hyphens. But the big hyphen means that after you finish the word after the hyphen, you hit space and then it expands it. Down here, they did not hit space and now they're little. So they're not equal all the way up and down. So I'm just pointing out little things like, sorry.
I'm not very
So those are just things that I look at. Okay. And I want it to be perfect because when these companies come in, they say, wow, you got them ready, that you dressed professionally, you got everything looking good, it's balanced and it pops. And so that's what I want to do. Okay. I brought up, let's see. Some other handouts that were up there. And I think they may be able to talk to this too. They just came out with the $3,000 award. They continue to do that every semester. So if you have a job really in technology, STEM related in the state of South Carolina, this $3,000 stipend, even if you're getting paid $40 an hour, they're still going to give you that. Okay, so make sure you apply. I saw some of you in here last week say, hey, I'm going to get my internship next semester. There's like 3 or 4 of you. Make sure you sign up. And then in the summer, all of you should sign up for sure. Blue Cross Blue Shield left me this form. Okay. So in case you weren't here, scan that real quick and apply. If you wanted graduation with leadership distinction, make sure you call them and set up a time. You guys need to start working on that. Some of you were asking me, where's the blank internship form? So I brought some. Sounds like some of you may already be landing jobs, which is good. That means you're competing with others. Scout, I know, is already starting to look and so forth. I just got another email from the electrical engineering people. This has got this conference coming up. They're going to be looking, and Savannah River National Labs is going to be looking. So things are starting to happen. Hopefully you guys got down and saw Blue Cross Blue Shield a little bit more after she presented this week. I know she was giving out free pizza and all. So hopefully you got down there and talked to Angie a little bit more. I did want to show one other thing. I'm going to change, instead of doing an intro real quick, I'm going to jump over to something else. Let's see, right here. Okay, on ONET, I said go to ONET. That's what ONET looks like. They're very familiar with it. ONET actually helped draft, like I told you, I helped create the career clusters nationwide. You'll notice that the career clusters right here, okay? So if you clicked on that, the career clusters, you would actually go in and you click what are the hot technologies, or what's the industry, what's STEM, what's the occupations, all these different things, okay? If you want to know what the hot technologies are, you can look, okay? Or if you go back, it talks about advanced searches. And so right here, you can actually look at the soft skills or technology skills. That's where you can lift and put stuff right here. Here's your technology skills, your soft skills, so forth. You can do that as well. So just to give you an example, I've already opened some of these, but say, for example, here's the soft skills one. You'll see that they list complex problem solving, critical thinking, all these different things. If you're trying to fill your resume, put some of these soft skills and what you're capable of doing in the workplace. If you're looking for technical skills, come on. So here's some that actually I just pulled up: telecommunications engineering specialist. You can pull up any occupation and it tells you what they're looking for in that occupation based on, here's the top 27 technology skills. You want to make sure that you put the ones with fire behind them, okay? Those are the hot technologies, and they're wanting to know, do you know Linux? Do you know Python? I know you guys have it. Make sure it's on there. They want to know, do you know Teams? Do you know Microsoft Project, Excel, Word? A lot of times people don't put it on there, and I'm just saying this out loud because I've had 3, 4 graduate students that were Indian before I got an Asian. They do not learn American software. They learn their own software. And so when they came over, they did not know how to do a PowerPoint. They did not know how to use Word. And I'm like, you're killing me. Like, so all of a sudden they had to learn that whole software package. Okay. So when you think it's simple, it is simple for us because we've been doing it since what, elementary school. But it's just, I want you to be aware of that. But the other things is, once you go down here, you can actually look up these work activities and you can actually find the ones that you do. And you can say, well, you provide, advice to others, or you work with computers, and you can just, use these kind of this verbiage, okay? Where you communicate with supervisors, provide information, coworkers, whatever. So it makes it more outstanding for you, okay? And then just as an FYI, I keep telling you to go to Indeed to look for jobs, as well as Handshake and LinkedIn. All I did was type in technology internships around Columbia. and look at all the things that's already popped up that they're looking for people right now over at Dominion Energy. Okay, they got 3 of them there, and maybe more, and those are IT database stuff that we can do. There's the Blue Cross Blue Shield one for EOTP. Those are already posted, like she said they would be. So that's the kind of stuff I want you to start looking for, because they're working on it. So we got to be working on it. Okay. So didn't mean to jump off kilter there, but Jalen, come on up. I'm going to let you introduce them and let them cover everything. Sorry, took the excerpt. Speak a little loud. Okay. You're good.
All right, good morning, everyone. I am here with Albert, filling in for Nicholas Pasquas. He is not here. He has a family emergency. Today, I am talking about the Career Center, specifically at the Melinda Rowley College. The Career Center provides career guidance tailored to engineering and computing students. It practices mock interviews, they review resumes, and you can go to career workshops. The purpose of the Career Center is to help the transition from college to the professional workforce. A little bit about Nicholas is not here. He has a undergrad at West Florida University. He got his master's at Clemson University. The undergrad was in art history. The master's was in counselor education. He's a career development coach. He previously was an assistant director of career engagement at Boston College and Clemson University. He's a certified global career development facilitator. And a little bit about Albert. He's a graduate assistant. He graduated in the class of 2023, and he's here filling in today.
Well, welcome. And Albert, would you introduce Ken, please?
Hello, this is my supervisor, Ken Zucker. You got it.
So, my name is Ken Rucker. I'm the assistant director in the actual career center. Both Nick and I, of course, report to me. I do apologize that Nick isn't here. I was going to do the presentation. We think he'll do a great job. I'll just chime in from here and there as we go about. Make sure everyone is still at our time. So we won't worry about you guys standing up with the list. Just real quick before we actually get started, just want you guys to be aware of some things that we're actually doing here in the College of Engineering and Computing. Every Tuesday at 12, typically we have something called Tuesday Tips. Just drop in so you can come in and actually ask questions. On Wednesdays, we do Wednesday workshops. And every other Friday, just about we do some kind of fun Friday thing. All next week, we actually have STEM Fair Prep Week. Even on September 10th, we're going to actually be having a little mock mini career fair. There'll be about 5 or 6 employers down there. Now, they may not necessarily be looking for IT, but here's my thing. Every company is a potential opportunity for you guys, of course, right? Because of what you're actually studying. But it's really a great way for you to possibly get rid of some of those nerves that you might have. So when the actual career fair does come, you're now actually to take that. Tony already mentioned that 2009 free money, we'll go ahead and let Al take it from here.
All right, so I mean, Tony already went over a lot of this, but margins, preferably 1 inch, but no less than half. If you have to reduce it a little bit just to get some more information, and that's okay. 10 to 12 font here, went over it. Font type, those 3 are preferred. If you have a different preference, just make sure it's like, easy to read, legible, nothing too fancy. And there's no like one, like when I get students, like they'll ask like, oh, is this right? Is this the right way? There's no like one correct way to format things. Like for me, like when I put my dates, I use like abbreviations like AUG, SEP. Some people like the numbers. Just make sure it's consistent across the board. Kind of like what Tony highlighted in that sample resume earlier, like with the dashes. Make sure the bullets are properly aligned. That also goes on with the consistency thing. You can want one here and then one over here, and also like try to reduce the white space. Make sure it's balanced in appearance, and also with your experiences, organize them in reverse chronological order. So most recent up top, and then going back, yeah, in time. Limit, or I guess 1 to 2 pages.
But depending on where you are now, most freshmen, of course, right, you're not gonna have a ton of special things that relevant, so you most likely limit it to 1 page as you gain more experience. It is absolutely fine to go on to that second page. If you need it, and like, Professor Jones stated, you don't wanna just have it on 2 pages. I know Professor Dillon mentioned also, like, the spelling. I don't know if anybody here is a terrible speller, like, or going to admit it, and I'm a terrible speller. Anybody else here a terrible speller? Like, I think spell check is like one of the greatest inventions ever. But you ever been typing really quick and you type the word there, but you meant to type the word there? Spell check doesn't actually, catch that for you. So we're always saying, let us be an extra set of eyes to make sure that number one, right? You don't possibly have those spell check, just like how Tony plucked the one for us. Now, it was a little embarrassing because I was like, okay, we have one of our student workers who reviews resumes. We do our resumes, and then a few people in the office looked at it. So I thought it was good. And so it was like, wow. So once again, it shows those of us who are supposed to be professionals. You want to make sure that, right? You don't possibly put you're supposed to be a professional blogger, and they say you're a professional blogger.
All right, so for the heading, make sure your name is big and bold, so it stands out. We recommend 16 to 20 point font. Contact info, phone number, email, also LinkedIn, and if you have a GitHub, also that same area. For location, we've moved just like city and state. I know some people with their addresses or like a zip code. None of that is necessary anymore.
And the reason for that, a lot of people start stalking. And so if they find a person that they want to stalk, if you got your address on there, it just makes it easier. I mean, people stalk on the internet anyhow. But even if you want to delete the city and state, I'm okay with it as long as you've got like a phone number or email and stuff like that. They can communicate with you.
Absolutely. It also helps eliminate bias. Like I share with people all the time. I grew up in North Philadelphia, an area that we call the Badlands, a really big room. Right? If I put down 19133 on my resume, you might look at that right and say, whoa, that's good, right? And start making assumptions, about me without even knowing who I am. So you don't need your zip code, you don't need your full address, and that's what we're starting to see more and more of that. Especially as students, you guys are both, like you might be going to school here in South Carolina, and live in Florida, looking for a job in Washington State.
And then for your education section, obviously you are at University of South Carolina, but if you transfer from another school and have significant coursework, also list that. Recruiters don't really need to know how long you were in college, so you can just put your expected graduation date and like literally just list it like that. You don't need to put the words expected graduation for like fall 2020 or spring 2027 or whatever it is. Study abroad experiences, if applicable. High school information, remove it by the latest end of sophomore year. If you have experiences, if you're getting experiences here, start to push those off. Of course, list your major, minors, concentrations, and then Tony already addressed GPA. What do you say, 3.5?
I would, yeah, let's go with 3.5 or higher. I'm just saying.
Exactly. Once again, it's not a requirement that you actually have it on your actual, resume. And it's one of those things where you'll see that some employers might actually require maybe a 3.0 or 3.2 or 3.5 if it's actually. And students will always ask us the question, well, if they're asking for an actual 3.5, and let's say I only have a 3.2, should I still apply to that position? What do you guys think? Absolutely, right? You don't want to tell yourself no, except when you want to. So this means, of course, you apply. But maybe what you could do, let's say last semester, your GPA was a 3.7. I'm just saying, what I would do, I would put spring 2025, spring semester 2025 GPA 3.7. I didn't mind. That's what it was. Right? It's no requirement that I have to.
For an honors or awards section in your resume, you can list any academic awards, leadership and service distinctions, like if you're doing GLD, like you mentioned earlier, definitely list that. Any sort of recognitions, awards. Do refrain from listing like monetary, like needs-based scholarships. So like the Pell Grant, like everyone's gonna have that. So there's no need to list that. For skills, you want to list industry specific and skills and knowledge like buzzwords. So that's where you want to go and find the job description for the job you're applying to, and then tailor like your bullet points to it. So like key phrases that they're looking for.
Well, just real quick, or like Tony had mentioned, right? On that, right? There's a great place where you can say, okay, you know what are some of the top, buzzwords that they're actually using in this industry, and making sure that you actually have them. That's especially many of those skills are actually getting into the money.
And definitely list any like specific computer programs, software, like any of those like hard skills like Excel or I don't know. But there's a lot of programs here. But any of those, any like certifications, and then for skills or like strengths, it's okay to list. I know like when you like different people do different things, but it's okay to list like leadership or communication under your skills alongside like Excel or whatnot in your skill section. For experience, do y'all think you should list every single job you've had in your resume? God knows. Yeah, and it's like kind of gives it away, relevant experience, even if unpaid. So any sort of experience that's relevant to what you're looking for, it's like internships, or summer employment, any experiences, volunteering, shadowing, observations. Now let's say like if you hadn't had like a job specific to like IIT or engineering, and you have like other work experience, is that still relevant? Can it be? Yeah. So you want to like sell the soft skills you gain from that. So maybe like leadership, communication. Always list those things, and you want to begin by using strong action verbs for every bullet point. So I see a lot of like responsibilities included, or like or responsible for, or duties included. We don't need a rephrasing of the job description. We need to know like what you gained from it, like how that experience, like how you made an impact on that company, and like what skills you gained from that experience. Stick to short phrases and stay away from using I and any personal pronouns. And like I said, don't just list job duties and some sample descriptions. Do you want to take over your?
Sure. You know what? I like what Tony had talked about earlier. When he talked about maybe had a job that maybe seemed like it was possible a little bit irrelevant. Like I share with students all the time. My favorite job ever. True story. 11th grade year, I worked at Burger King. Absolutely love it. Favorite job ever to this day. Now, I'm not saying I want to go back and work at Burger King, but I mean, I had a great time working those 15 hours at Burger King. This were the people that I worked with. But can you imagine if I put that on my resume? You guys tell me, what did I do at Burger King? What was my job? Exactly, cooking burgers. So can you imagine that, like Burger King, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, right? And I feel good burgers, help customers, fries, right? That doesn't sell who I am. But what if I said served over 450 customers during a 4-hour shift, working multiple stations, ensuring that customers' needs were met in a timely manner. Now look what I did. I quantified those results, and I told you a lot of things. I told you I can work in fast-paced, high-stress environments, right? I told you I know how to multitask. What was I doing multitasking? Working the burger machine, the fry machine, the front counter, right? But I didn't say that, right? I told you that what I was taking care of customers as well. So oftentimes it's how you articulate what it is that you're actually learning, not only in the classroom, but you have. I'm not sure.
You did good.
Listen, I tell you, I wish that all the professors were like this. Well, then, yeah, no, I'm glad that they're not, because then I probably wouldn't. So can some of us.
We're just gonna have to tag teams if they want us to do this for the whole time.
What about you?
I mean,
I know, we'll just sit for the top, we'll just move on.
Yeah.
I'll finish this up and then let you get back. So obviously, right, we don't want you to just say, the obvious. That's what we're basically, saying. So if you were a hostess or a waiter, yeah, we know you greet your customers and that type of thing. But maybe you decrease customer wait time by 13% by supporting, the wait kitchens that happily, act with, wait times and increase customer frustration. So now you're selling yourself, right? It's that same experience, but it's how you articulate it. And this is one of the reasons why we're always telling students, come and see us for that reason alone. We hear from recruiters all the time that will say, you know what? Students are just underselling, themselves and what they actually do bring to the table. This is your brand document, your resume. That's your document that sells. Let's just quickly go this. This was for if we had like any freshmen, but since you all guys are all like junior, seniors, you have to skip over that. A lot of times freshmen don't have a lot of experience. So we're just kind of showing them how to utilize some of the stuff that are constantly done in high school and college school. But the key, of course, is we want to make sure that we tailor our resumes. Why do you think it's important to tailor resumes?
yeah. So I mean, why do you all think it's important to tailor your resume?
Not every job is the same. They could be looking for very different things, and one resume might be better for one thing than another thing.
Absolutely, yeah. You don't want to have one resume that you apply to, that you throw to every company, right? But yeah. What was this? Oh. Okay. But yeah, the position description will. Oh my gosh. Okay. But yeah, well, like you said right there, if they're looking for like strong organization skills and attention to detail, then you're gonna want to have that somewhere on your resume within your bullet points. And like real quickly, does anyone notice an error on this page?
See the error in this page.
Yeah.
There's no bullet.
There you
There
go.
you go. Good catch, good catch. And that's one of the reasons why we say, hey, that's, look at. Knowing that sometimes, look, we make those mistakes, some recruiters may not see it. But you knowing that, even from that job description, that's gonna also help you prepare for that interview as well. One of the things that I'm oftentimes, I've been doing this for 14 years of being a certified professional career coach, I'm always shocked by the amount of students that wait to the very last minute and they come into the office and I meet with someone, I have an interview tomorrow, next week. And I'm like, okay, so you mean to tell me that you applied for a job a month or two ago, knowing that there's going to possibly be an interview in order for you to get the job, and you waited all this time. But don't worry, we're going to drop everything that we actually do in the office just to help. That's not going to happen. So, as you guys are applying, take advantage of the actual career center early. Right? We're there to assist you guys with these job appointments.
Before you go, I want to address this real quick. Some of you are still using USC. I don't think we use that on campus anymore. We did that when we got sued by USC California. and we lost that lawsuit. And even though we were the first ones to have USC, we didn't file for a patent to secure that logo. And so they filed it, so their patent held up in the lawsuit. So we had to come up with some alternative one, and they didn't realize that until they came to a baseball field. They both had the same hat. So that's what happened. They got sued because they both had the same baseball hat. And so we had to change it. But I think now, I don't know, something's happened where we're not using the oven. But just FYI, I wanted to give you a heads up on that. And another thing is, I know Al brought up Mullen or how do you say that? Yeah, Mullen or you want to specify that you're part of that college because saying that you went through an engineering computing program means you have more of a STEM technical background, and you want that on your resume because it's just like the students over in the business college, they're putting Darla Moore, and this is just as important because there are other technical programs over in the arts that they don't get hands-on experience or technical experience. So what happens is, you know, you don't want to be bunched in with them, okay? You want to be separated out, okay? Sorry. No, you got 10 more minutes if you want it, but Q&A, you know.
I think almost. There we go. Are we? Oh, I just wasn't sure we were skipping or not.
Well, I actually,
We
just,
got plenty.
Okay.
so this one right here, this is really just, I pulled this job off of Handshake, and I'll be honest, I did this yesterday. I was actually speaking to student force for space engineering, so having those resumes. Typically, when I want to try to cover the job, do samples based on the population I'm speaking to, so I do apologize. I think my time. But we're talking about actually tailoring the resume. We're talking about taking a look at that actual job description and saying, can I potentially, change around my actual bullet and make sure that I'm highlighting some of the things that they're stating that they're actually looking for, as well as because if they're using an application tracking system or an actual ATS system, everyone knows what that is. System that actually scores your actual resume before it actually looks at it. So it has to get a high enough score in order for someone to actually look at it. So that's why we want to make sure we tailor our resume just in case it is going through that system. Score high enough for a person that will actually look at it. So that's what we do here. Right? So, example, we develop detailed utilizing those. But of course, knowing that you must have that experience, right? You can't just plug something in on the resume. Of course, we just utilize it in several jobs. Well as setting up informational interviews with professionals who may work with that.
Also, I'm real clear on the ATS systems. Resume templates are great. We have some on our site, and like it's great to like look at them, but make sure you type it in yourself. Because if you use a template and you try to plug and play and it causes a formatting error, you get the greatest resume in the world in the ATS system because it can't read it because of a formatting error, it could just throw it out. So just real quickly on that. But for activities, if you're involved in like any clubs, like leading an organization on campus, or like a part-time job, like tutoring, grading, make sure you have a section for that. Also, you can like call this section like anything like volunteering or leadership experience. So if you're like a leader of student government, you can list that under leadership instead of like volunteering. Yeah, it's all like how you want to categorize it, how you want to sell it in your resume. And then AI, of course. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Oh. Yeah, so it's also great to use AI, but make sure you use it correctly. That goes for everything we do here with your assignments, exams, anything, and also resumes. So don't ask ChatGPT to just make you a resume and then just download it and submit it. So don't copy and paste anything AI gives you. Also with prompting it, try to be more specific. Don't just do a generic statement like, "Oh, write me a resume," or an example of a student trying to break into sales. That's very generic. That's not gonna tailor your experience specifically at all. So yeah, use a keyword optimization, like we said with the job descriptions. Make sure you're getting those buzzwords, buzz phrases. Tailor it. Put in like the job title and the key responsibilities from that job description. So here's an example, like act like a professional writer. And now it says like the key skills are knowledge of economic concepts, data analysis, research skills. Key achievement, improve quality of sales by 4%. There's a quantity right there during a summer internship at blank. So yeah, it's keywords. And once again, like even when that comes out, don't copy and paste onto your resume.
Prompting is actually key, right? So that's really
Yeah, so, another thing, if you, trying to remember, another thing on a resume, don't use, since you were talking about using ChatGPT, also don't use Microsoft resume templates. The resume templates are all wrong completely, because they got columns left and right, everything's so short that you can't get all the information that you want. And then they also have a place for pictures. HR does not allow pictures. They cannot look at you and say, hey, that's a white female or black male, or they just toss it away because it's skewed from the minute they look at the resume. So they can't accept that. So a lot of you like them, but I'm going to deem you for
in fact, you certainly want to do it. So no text on it. Why take the chance? We'll open it up for questions.
And these two individuals, as well as Nick, will be down at the Career Center all year long. If you need them this semester, next semester. So it's not just for resumes. Whether you need job interview skills or someone to talk to and practice interviews, job interview questions, cover letters, thank you letters, they do all that. They can help you find jobs.
So we'll help you to get professionals in the field, maybe alumni. Mr. Dillon actually spoke about the actual mentorship platform. Great platform that we've already done all the legwork for you and reached out to alumni and said, hey, here's another way for you to actually give back without having to go into your pockets and give money, right? So as a result of that, many of them are saying, okay, yeah, I'm willing to actually talk to a student about the majors, internships, work-life balance, like how to work in a certain industry, things of that nature. So you can go onto that particular site, use the actual community feature, type of the board code, that you're interested in, and filter it down to the actual alumni and reach out to those individuals. They are actually waiting for you. This year, we actually we do a mentorship program through that system as well. You don't have to be a part of that mentorship program in order to utilize it, but we had like 283 alumni that said, yeah, I'm willing to actually do it. What we're finding from that is that students are not only starting that networking process, but many of them are now securing opportunity as a result of that, because those alums are okay to actually open back. But at least you'll find out, hey, what are they looking for in qualified candidates? What could you do that's going to make you more marketable, in the future? That's what it's all about. How so you can secure that job. So you need to make sure that you're utilizing all the resources that are available to you. Our job in the Career Center is simply to help you guys transition smoothly from college to career. And we can't do that unless you come in. I joke around and tell students all the time, I become one of the most popular guys on campus at March 8th. Why do you think that is? Everybody's looking for a job, right? Internship or a job. Now they want to come in and see. 95% of our appointments in the Career Center during the actual summertime are from recent graduates who have just graduated from the not secured an opportunity. Go into the handshake system, and 95% of them, you can see that they never have had an appointment with the career center. Now, they may have went to a career fair, once or twice, but what's the purpose of going to the career fair if you really don't know how to work it, if you're really not prepared, that type of thing. So the beautiful thing is the services that we provide to current students, we do provide to alumni as well, free of charge up to 1 year after you graduate. After that, there's like a $40 charge. If for some reason after that you switch jobs and this kind of thing, and you need some help with something, come to the career center, right? As long as I'm running the one here, I'm not worried about the $40. I don't even know where it goes, honestly. I'm not even sure how to enter it in the system. So you come in, just don't tell my boss I said that. Right? But really take advantage of us, guys. This is why we're here.
Any other questions? You guys can talk to them one-on-one here in a second. Do you want to go back to screen one and let them register so you can have them all, that way you, yeah. If you guys could scan that, they get credit for teaching in the classroom, because I invited them in, and it just shows that they work today.
Boss will be like, how many people is in there? Who was- Anybody here ever used the My USC experience? Yeah, you can also track, stuff that, so now this would be on handshake and say that you took part in this. It could go under My USC, experience.
That would be nice too, yeah, to start doing that kind of stuff. So, and he's also gonna be at the job fair, he's gonna be at the etiquette dinners, he's gonna be, so look for him as well, and Nick will be back, comes back once he's picked up. So if there's no other questions, let's give him a round of applause.